Good day everyone, I am Jennifer D. Pipanyo and I am the third reporter for Lesson 6.2, the Philippine Constitution. In my part of the report, I will discuss the three branches of government, how the Constitution can be changed, the proposed amendments under different administrations, and the idea of federalism. These topics help us understand how our government works and how power is balanced in our country. Executive branch. The executive branch is headed by the president and his appointed cabinet. The president is the head of the state and the chief executive, but he is subject to significant checks from the other branches, especially in times of emergency, which, given the history of the country, was obviously intended to be a safeguard against a repeat of Marcos' martial law despotism. The executive branch is led by the president, who manage the government and enforce the laws. Although the president has strong authority, his powers are limited by other branches to prevent abuse, especially based on the experience during martial law under President Marcos. Legislative branch. The legislative power is vested in a Congress which is divided into two houses, the Senate and the House of Representatives. The 24 members of the Senate are elected at large by a popular vote and can serve no more than 2 consecutive 6-year terms. The House is composed of 250 elected members. Most of these representatives are elected by district for 3-year terms, but 20% of the total membership is chosen in proportion to party representation. Besides the exclusive power to legislate, one of the most important powers of Congress is the ability to declare war, which it can through a 2/3 vote in both houses. Even the power to legislate, however, is subject to an executive check. The president retains the power to veto a bill passed by both houses, and Congress may override this veto only with a 2/3 vote in both houses. The legislative branch makes the laws and is composed of the Senate and the House of Representatives. It has the power to pass laws and declare war, but the president can veto laws, ensuring balance between branches. Judicial branch. The judicial branch of the Philippines exercises judicial power through the Supreme Court and all lower courts created by law. The Supreme Court is composed of 15 justices appointed by the President from a list of nominees, submitted by the Judicial and Bar Council, or GBC, a constitutionally mandated body. The GBC has 7 members, including the Chief Justice, the Secretary of Justice, representatives from Congress, the Integrated Bar, the Legal Academy, a retired Supreme Court Justice, and the private sector. The Supreme Court reviews appeals involving the constitutionality of laws, treaties, and government actions, as well as cases involving jurisdiction, judicial errors, or serious penalties. It also has original jurisdiction over cases involving government or international officials and oversees the administration and functioning of all lower courts and their personnel. The judicial branch interprets the law and ensures justice is served. The Supreme Court checks whether laws and government actions follow the Constitution and supervises lower courts. Changing of the Constitution. Constitutional reform in the Philippines, also known as charter change or colloquially CHACHA, refers to the political and legal processes needed to amend the current 1987 Constitution of the Philippines. Under the common interpretation of the Constitution, amendments can be proposed by one of three methods: a people's initiative, a constituent assembly, or a constitutional convention. People's Initiative, or PI, is a common appellative in the Philippines that refers to either a mood for constitutional amendment provided by the 1987 Philippine Constitution or to act of pushing an initiative, national or local, allowed the Philippine Initiative and Referendum Act of 1987. The appellative also refers to the product of either of those initiatives. A constitutional convention is one of the three methods to amend the Constitution of the Philippines. The others are a people's initiative or a constituent assembly. Article 17, Section 3 of the Constitution says, the Congress may, by a vote of 2/3 of all its members, call a constitutional convention, or by a majority vote of all its members, submit to the electorate the question of calling such a convention. The Constituent Assembly is a term describing one of the three methods by which amendments to the 1987 Constitution of the Philippines may be proposed. The other two modes are via People's Initiative and Constitutional Convention. All three required a majority vote in a national referendum. Proposed amendments or revision to the 1987 Constitution. Ramos Administration. President Fidel Ramos proposed amending the 1987 Constitution to shift to a parliamentary system and lift term limits for public officials to promote accountability, continuity, and reduce governmental gridlock. Opposition from religious groups, politicians, business tycoons, and left-wing organizations challenged the reforms, arguing that they primarily benefited the incumbent president. On September 21, 1997, a large church-organized rally protested the proposed amendments, drawing around 500,000 people to Rizal Park. On September 23, 1997, the Chief Justice Andres Narvaza dismissed a petition by PERMA that sought constitutional amendments through a people's initiative due to insufficient enabling law. Estrada Administration. President Joseph Estrada proposed Concord, or Constitutional Correction for Development, to amend restrictive economic provisions to encourage foreign investment in the Philippines. Opposition politicians, religious groups, and left-wing organizations criticized the proposal, claiming it threatened national patrimony and served self-interest. Arroyo Administration. President Gloria Macapagal Arroyo endorsed constitutional amendments via a constituent assembly requiring a 2/3 vote in the House of Representatives. The initiative failed due to controversies and scandals surrounding Arroyo's administration, including accusations of attempting to extend her presidential term. Aquino III administration. President Benigno Aquino III has no formal plans for constitutional reform, but members of Congress failed proposals. Senate Resolution Number 10, authored by Senator Pimentel, sought to convert the government into a federal republic, while other resolutions proposed parliamentary government and economic liberalization. Duterte administration. During the May 2016 election, President Rodrigo Duterte promised a plebiscite to replace the unitary state with a federal system within 2 weeks. On December 7, 2016, Duterte signed Executive Order Number 10 to establish a consultative committee or CONCOM to review the 1987 Constitution. On July 3, 2018, the CONCOM unanimously approved the draft Federal Constitution, which was submitted to the President. By July 9, 2018, dubbed the Bayanihan Constitution. It included provisions to prohibit elected officials from switching political parties during the first and last 2 years of their term. It also proposed banning political dynasties by preventing relatives within the second degree of consanguinity or affinity from holding more than one national and one local or regional position simultaneously. Federalism. Federalism is proposed type of government wherein sovereignty is constitutionally divided between the national government and subdivisional governments, such as states or provinces. Federalism divides the country into several autonomous states with a national government. How federalism works? The autonomous states are even further divided into local government units. They will have the main responsibility over developing their local industries, public health and safety, education, transportation, and culture. These states have more power over their finances, policies, development plans, and laws. Federalism gives more power to regions so they can manage their own needs. It aims to improve local development and reduce independence on the national government. Conclusion. The history of the Philippine Constitution reflects how the country's fundamental law has evolved over time to respond to changing political conditions. From revolutionary via the Malolos Constitution, 1899, and earlier provisional charters like Biak na Bato Constitution, to the 1935 Commonwealth Constitution under American tutelage, then authoritarian restructuring under Ferdinand Marcos with the 1973 Constitution, and finally restoration of democratic institution under the 1987 Constitution of the Philippines. The present 1987 Constitution symbolizes the Filipino people's reclaiming of sovereignty and commitment to democratic governance, ensuring the protection of civil and political rights, separation and balance of powers, and preventing the concentration of authority. A legacy shaped by historical lessons and struggles. That concludes my part of the report. I hope this discussion helped you understand the structure of the Philippine government and the importance of the Constitution. Thank you for listening.